The rain never stopped that night, and neither did the truth chasing her. Sarah thought she was running from a stranger, but deep down, she was running from a past her mind refused to remember. Because Ethan Cross was never really missing, he was waiting, watching, following every step like he already owned the ending. And now, trapped between a man who feels like home and a truth that could destroy her, Sarah is about to uncover something far more dangerous than fear: memory. Because tonight, she won't just find out who he is, she'll find out who she used to be. So, before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. The night began with movement. Urgent, chaotic, desperate movement. Sarah ran through the rain-soaked streets, her breath uneven, her heartbeat echoing louder than the thunder above. The city blurred around her, light smearing into streaks of gold and red as her heels struck the pavement in frantic rhythm. Every step felt like a race against something invisible, yet terrifyingly close. Her coat clung to her skin, heavy with rain, but she didn't stop. She couldn't. Because somewhere behind her, not rushing, not panicking, but moving with an eerie and calculated calm, was Ethan Cross. He wasn't chasing her like a predator in a hunt. No, it was far worse. He followed like someone who already knew the ending. Like someone who knew exactly where she would go, what she would choose, and how this night would unfold. That certainty, the quiet confidence in his steps, unsettled her more than any sprint ever could. Sarah's escape wasn't planned. It was instinct. She turned corners without thinking, crossed streets blindly, and ignored the honking cars and shouting strangers. Yet somehow, despite the randomness of her path, she felt guided, pulled even, towards something she didn't understand. And then she saw it. A dimly lit jazz lounge tucked between two aging buildings, its entrance glowing faintly like a secret waiting to be uncovered. Without hesitation, she pushed the door open and stepped inside. The atmosphere hit her immediately. Warm amber light washed over velvet booths and polished wood surfaces. The air was thick with the low, melancholic sound of a saxophone, each note lingering like a whispered confession. This wasn't just a place, it was a sanctuary for secrets, a place where pasts were buried and truths wore disguises. For a moment, Sarah allowed herself to breathe. The chaos outside faded, replaced by a deceptive calm, but deep down she knew this wasn't safety. This was the beginning of something far more dangerous. Her phone buzzed, slicing through the illusion of peace. The screen lit up with an unknown number. Her fingers trembled as she looked at the message. Table 7. Sit down. A chill ran through her spine. Whoever sent this knew exactly where she was. They knew she would come here. The same unsettling certainty that followed Ethan now surrounded her from all sides. Logic told her to leave, to run again, to disappear into the night. But something stronger, curiosity, fear, or perhaps fate, pushed her forward. Against all reason, she moved toward the back of the lounge. Each step felt heavier than the last, as if she were walking deeper into a memory she didn't recognize. And then she saw her, a woman seated in the corner booth, waiting as though she had been there all along. The woman was impossible to ignore. She exuded a quiet authority, the kind that didn't demand attention, but commanded it effortlessly. Her crimson lipstick contrasted sharply against her pale skin, and her black satin gloves rested delicately on the table. She was older, composed, and undeniably dangerous, not in a physical sense, but in the way she seemed to understand everything without saying a word. Her eyes locked onto Sarah's with a knowing intensity, as if she had been expecting this exact moment. Without introduction or hesitation, she slid a photograph across the table. The gesture was simple, almost casual, yet it carried a weight that immediately tightened Sarah's chest. Slowly, Sarah picked it up, her breath catching before she even fully saw it. The photograph was undeniable. It was her. There was no mistake. The same eyes, the same face, but softer, happier, untouched by fear. And beside her stood Ethan. Not the cold, calculated figure following her through the rain, but someone different, someone warm, someone she was close to. They stood together with their arms wrapped around each other, laughing as if the world belonged to them. It wasn't staged, it wasn't distant, it was intimate, real. And yet, Sarah felt nothing but emptiness, looking at it. No memory surfaced. No recognition sparked. It was like staring at a stranger wearing her face. Her voice trembled as she asked the only question that made sense. "What is this?" The woman leaned forward slightly, her expression softening just enough to feel unsettling, rather than comforting. "Your life before the fire," she said. The word fire struck something deep within Sarah's mind. It wasn't a memory, not fully, but a fragment. A sensation. Suddenly, images flashed behind her eyes in broken pieces. Smoke curling through the air, heat pressing against her skin. A scream, hers or someone else's, she couldn't tell. Ethan's voice calling out, distorted and desperate. And then something small but vivid, a ring slipping from her fingers, hitting the floor with a sound that echoed louder than everything else. The vision disappeared as quickly as it came, leaving her breathless and disoriented. Her mind fought to make sense of it, to connect the fragments into something whole, but the pieces refused to stay together. The woman watched her closely, as if measuring her reaction, as if waiting for the moment everything would click. But it didn't. Not yet. Then the woman spoke again, her tone darker now, more deliberate. "He didn't disappear, Sarah. He came back for what he lost." The words hung in the air like a warning. Suddenly, everything shifted. The idea that Ethan had been gone, missing, absent, a mystery, collapsed. What if he had never been missing at all? What if he had been watching, waiting, preparing for this exact moment? The jazz music that once filled the room faded into silence. Or perhaps Sarah simply stopped hearing it. The atmosphere grew heavier, the shadows stretching longer, as if the entire lounge was holding its breath. And then she felt it, a presence behind her, undeniable and close. Slowly, almost unwillingly, Sarah looked up. Ethan stood there, just as the woman had implied he would. Rain dripped from his coat, forming small pools on the floor beneath him. His expression was unreadable, caught somewhere between longing and something far more dangerous, something sharp and unresolved. His eyes locked onto hers, and in that moment the world seemed to narrow to just the two of them. There was history in that gaze. Pain. Love. And something that looked disturbingly like revenge. He didn't rush her. He didn't speak immediately. Instead, he simply extended his hand toward her, steady and unwavering. "Come home with me," he said, his voice low but certain. The woman's voice cut through the tension like a blade. "If you go, you may never remember the truth." The warning was clear, heavy with consequences. Sarah felt trapped between two forces pulling her in opposite directions, one offering familiarity without clarity, the other promising truth at an unknown cost. Ethan didn't look away from her, not even for a second. His next words were colder, sharper, leaving no room for comfort. "If she stays," he said, his voice hardening, "she may not survive the night." The choice was no longer just about memory. It was about survival, about trust, about deciding whether the past was worth risking the future. And as Sarah sat there, caught between the man she couldn't remember loving and the truth she wasn't ready to face, the weight of the moment pressed down on her like never before. And then, darkness. The moment shattered. The screen fades to black, leaving behind unanswered questions, fractured memories, and a choice that would define everything that comes next. Because in the end, the most terrifying realization wasn't that Ethan had returned, it was that he had never truly been gone. If you liked this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up. Leave a comment and click the button to subscribe.